We said we have to put partisan politics aside. We have to change the way we do business. We have to do more with less, because that's what people are doing in the real world. That's what families are doing around the kitchen table. That's what businesses are doing around the conference table. The one thing in this budget that did give some hope for businesses that are struggling, for people and families who are struggling, we make a maybe, a contingent, not definite. Does this document represent that opportunity we were going to take in January to make an opportunity out of a crisis, to consolidate agencies, to do things a little smarter, a little better, a little leaner? No, it doesn't. There was a cause célèbre made by the majority party of how they were going to revamp the DMV, make it different. Smart government, reinvent government. They were going to change the way we got our license and our pictures and our registration. You could go to a Stop and Shop and into a gas station and every place else. We were going to do all these great things. None of them are reflected in this budget. We raise revenue to balance this budget two ways. We borrow it to the tune of $1.3 billion. And that was just 4 hours after we borrowed $1 billion to balance last year's budget. And then we raised taxes. Now, we don't raise them on everybody, just certain people. And I guess that's a good thing, I guess. For instance, we raise over $200 million for people who smoke cigarettes. If they quit smoking, we lose the money. I had the opportunity with many of my colleagues to tour this state and speak to people who run their businesses. 73% of the businesses in the state of Connecticut have 9 or less people. 53% of the businesses in the state of Connecticut employ 4 or less people. And they're hurting. You look into the eyes of these men and women, some who are running businesses in their 4th generation, who don't look at the people they work with as employees, they look at them as family. People who have had to sit across the table and look at a 55-year-old man in the eye who's been working there for 15 and 20 years and say, "I'm sorry, Joe, I got to let you go. You no longer have a job here, Joe." Tears in their eyes. And they've done it more than once. 7,000 Connecticut businesses since January of '09, when we took that oath of office, have had to close their doors. 26,000 businesses in 2 years. 70,000 people unemployed. And, you know, it would be one thing if we could say, yes, it's a tough pill to swallow, but if we adopt this, we'll be on a stable revenue stream for the next 5 years to come. That's not the case. We all know there's over $5 billion of money that's built into this budget that's not going to be in the next budget. $5 billion. What are we going to do then? Whose fair share are we going to get then? How are we going to pay for that? Those are the kind of things that should have been incorporated in this budget, but they're not.